And here's Jenna now. Hello, Jenna.
Hey everybody. Hi
Hey.
Internet.
Hey, Internet. Yeah, thanks for taking the time to join us today, Jenna. So,
Yeah, thanks so much for having me.
absolutely. Absolutely. So, yeah, we're going to be talking to Jenna about her show, Get Happy, celebrating 100 years of Judy Garland, which is coming to our summer concert series at 4 Mile Historic Park on Wednesday, June 26th, 6:30 p.m. It's going to be a load of fun. And Jenna is an acclaimed singer and actor who has performed sold-out crowds all over the U.S. You can also hear her on Pandora Radio, as he is the voice of Starbucks Cafe, Amazon Alexa, Crest, and more. And she is the co-founder of Innovative Voice Studio, where she trains Broadway artists, and of Innovative Performance, where she coaches leaders across a variety of industries to use their voices to better express themselves. So Jenna is an incredible performer. So happy to be talking to her today. We're thrilled to have her perform some classic Judy Garland tunes at our summer concert series at 4 Mile, where you can bring the family and a picnic and have a great time listening to some tributes to classic artists all this summer. And you can find more info about the show and tickets with the link in our bio. And yeah, thrilled to be talking to you here today, Jenna.
I'm so excited to come back to Denver.
Yeah, yeah, definitely,
Yeah. Yeah.
definitely.
My first experience in Colorado, as y'all say, is I came out the summer of 2017 to do Sister Act up at what was Lake Dillon Theater Company and now is Theater Silco. And I arrived on a Sunday night at night, and I was picked up from Denver Airport, driven up the mountain, and the next morning I woke up in Keystone, where in actually like dorms where the ski instructors live during the
Mm.
season. And I woke up, and then we were picked up and we were driven down the mountain to Silverthorne, where the theater is. And I remember as we drove by Lake Dillon, I was like, wait, I'm going to be spending this summer here? This is amazing. And so ever since I'm always just craving any excuse to come back to the fine state of Colorado. And so I'm really, really, really excited to finally bring the show down the mountain to Denver. It's going to be really fun.
Amazing. Yeah, Colorado has that effect on people.
It really does.
Yeah, is there anything you're particularly excited about checking out in Colorado or in Denver? Do you have any spots you visit when you come through?
Um, Actually, yeah, Instagram has actually been feeding me a lot of Denver bakeries, and the croissant scene seems like very legit. So I'm very much excited about that. Always hankering for a good hike. So if anybody has any good recommendations of stuff to check out, happy to do that. I really love Golden. I think it's so beautiful, and I love the quaint town. I have to admit that actually my favorite, I'll say, crappy beer is Coors Light. And so I made my husband a few years ago go on a tour of the Coors Light factory and tap the Rockies, baby, because those Coors were so refreshing. It was truly the best Coors Light I've ever had. So needless to say, I won't be returning to the Coors factory on this trip, but a local brewery feels like it might be in the works. So, there's really, I can't get enough. So if you have any recommendations, anybody watching, of stuff that I should check out while I'm in town, please send them my way. I'm very much looking forward to keep exploring.
Yeah, amazing. Plenty, plenty of breweries, so you'll it's hard to find a bad one, I'll
Yeah,
say.
yeah, yeah.
So, amazing. Well, yeah, thank you so much for talking to us, Jenna. We'd love to hear a little bit more about the show and tell people, kind of what you'll be bringing to 4 Mile. So let's start talking a little bit about Judy Garland herself.
Let's do it.
I would love to hear about, yeah. So she is, as you say on your website and your promo materials, the world's greatest entertainer. But let's say, that's a big claim. Let's say I don't know much about her other than like she was Dorothy in Wizard of Oz, she sang Somewhere Over the Rainbow. What do you find inspiring about her legacy, about her artistry? Like why do a tribute show for her to somebody who doesn't really know much about her
Okay,
young
well,
author?
first of all, I have to ask, is that actually true? Is that really all you know about Judy?
I would like to think I know a little
Okay,
bit more,
great.
but not
Not to
much.
not to throw you under the
Yeah,
bus, but I just wanted to know.
yeah, I'm here for it.
Okay, well, Judy Garland was born actually on June 10th, 1922, and she tragically died at the age of 47
Mhm.
out on June 22nd, 1969. And so, what's really incredible is she has this long lasting legacy despite living a very, very short life. And her performing career, despite only living to 47, spans the 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s. So 4 decades worth of American pop culture and American historical events, living through a very tumultuous time in American history. We're going from the Great Depression, which is when she was born, all the way through, well, actually, we're going through the Roaring Twenties when she was born, through the Great Depression, through World War II, through the Civil Rights era, through the Vietnam War era before she died. And so, also in that time, this music from MGM and from Broadway was the popular music of the time. The Billboard charts were in direct alignment with these songs that she was singing. So a lot of what Judy represents is the popular cultural zeitgeist of that time. And so I think that's why she has this, in one way, this is why she has such a long lasting legacy, because she really represents a large span of American history and cultural shifts, which is very cool. And you get to watch one human being kind of navigate that in the public eye because she was and is a public figure. And so I think that that's one of the reasons. And then, second of all, there really has never been anyone else vocally that sounds like Judy. She's sort of in a category of her own. And you can think about it being like a sort of like an Ethel Merman, like a big Broadway kind of belt, but then she has this like low, rich, jazzy quality to her voice as well as this like very pure, beautiful, softer side, especially from her younger days. So I think that her vocal chops really put her in this her own distinct category, which keeps her alive and present. Especially, I'm a voice teacher, and so a lot of Judy's vocal mannerisms and stylings are things that a lot of my singers are aspiring to be able to create with their own sounds as well. And so she's such a great example of vocal things that singers like to do. And then I think the third reason why Judy it has the staying power is because she was so present with her audiences. And there's this underlying sense of vulnerability and also willingness to connect with her audiences. And she wasn't afraid to, or it wasn't that she wasn't afraid, but she wasn't able to hide her fears and hide her trauma. And so I think that not only is there that like voyeuristic thing of like, oh, a celebrity and what are they doing? And, I can't help but watch, but also there's this pure human nature in front of us and someone who's willing to sit in that muck and say, like, let's connect through this. And I think that that's such um a powerful thing about her that so many performers choose not to do, and so many performers aspire to be able to do just like she did. So yeah.
That's beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah, she's a cool
No, that's beautiful.
chick. Yeah.
Yeah, totally. No, it's funny. I'm reflecting on this, and that so many of the artists from that period of the Great American Songbook, like there's so many songs people know, so many just wonderful, brilliant songs from that era, and I think a lot of people aren't as familiar with, like, we know the names and we know the imprint of figures like Judy Garland, but not a lot of people maybe know their unique stories, like their unique artistry. I mean, that's pretty amazing.
Yeah. And that's one of the things that we do in the show. So,
Yeah.
yes, I'm going to share a bunch of Judy's music and again because we have 4 decades worth of material to choose from, it's really going to be a vocal variety.
Mm-hmm.
And so I like that because as a listener and as a singer, I want when I go to see a show or a concert, I don't want there to feel like there's this inside baseball thing going on where there's a lot of inside jokes or nichey things that I'm missing out on because I'm not, I'm not a super fan of something. I
Mm.
want to feel invited to the party. And so I love that we're doing this summer, because it's an opportunity for people to say, hey, you might not know a lot of Judy Garland. I know you know Over the Rainbow, but come to the show and get to know her. And if you are a super fan, then yes, please come,
Mm.
because I guarantee that you're not just going to hear, yeah, I mean, you are going to hear Over the Rainbow, but you'll also hear a bunch of other like B-side stuff that maybe are forgotten gems. And I'm going to tell stories about her life during the show as well. So it's not just a fully sung concert. I'm also going to be storytelling and telling fun tidbits about Judy's life, talking about my life and sort of how they've intertwined. And so another cool thing about it is that we're using Judy's music as the invitation to come to the party. And you'll leave the party also knowing a little bit about this Jenna with the weird last name as well.
Um, yeah, so there's a whole storytelling component to it. Then it's not just for musical theater heads. Like it's for people who like anyone could come and enjoy this.
Anyone can come and anyone will find, I guarantee, a song that they like. And if you come and you can't find a single song that you like, then I will give you your money back.
Yeah, great, challenge accepted. No, that's amazing. Uh, that is so cool. Yeah, so I mean, how did the show start, Jenna? How did that you come about? How did the idea come about for you and Joshua to collaborate and put together the show?
Yeah, so it's kind of it's a happy accident, I would say. I grew up similar to you. I knew Over the Rainbow. I knew of Judy Garland, but I wasn't this huge super fan. I didn't really know a lot about her. And in the summer of 2019, I got a phone call from a theater company where I had never worked. And they called me and they said, we're looking to hire someone to do a Judy Garland tribute for our annual gala. And we heard you're the gal to do it. And I was like, I am? I mean, I am.
Of course I am. Yeah, of course.
Yeah. And so Joshua and I met in the summer of 2013 doing summer stock up in Connecticut. And, we were sort of like peanut butter and jelly. And so immediately I got off the phone with the theater company and I called Joshua and I said, listen, you are my musical peanut butter. I'm the jelly. Can we please create this Judy Garland show together? Are you interested? And he said, yes, of course, I'd love to do this with you. So I was a college history major. I went to the University of Virginia and I studied history, French, and elementary ed. And how I got to singing, we'll get to it in a later time. But as a history major, I was like, okay, well, if I'm going to create a show about someone, the first thing I have to do is go to the library. And so I went to the library. I bought a few biographies on her. I also worked with a dramaturg, a wonderful woman named Caitlin Fahey, who created almost like a YouTube encyclopedia for me of poignant interviews and poignant moments on television and in movies that Judy had done. And what I loved about that is that it was open-ended enough where I could do the research and then I could pick and identify what I needed to do. So the theater company had given me free reign. They said, as long as you sing Over the Rainbow, you can do whatever else you want during the show. And I said, okay, great. So I didn't want it to be this like, you know, cheap version of a Judy Garland thing where all I did were recognizable things and I just sung a bunch. I wanted it to feel like a story. And so that was sort of how the show began. And then after having worked on it for a few months, we went and we did the show at the gala. It was a smash success. And my team in New York said, you just created this show. You need to do it in New York. So I said, okay, good idea. So we had a date on the calendar for May 2020. And so as we all know,
Yeah.
obviously that got canceled. And so, but what I started to notice, especially in the summer of 2020, is a lot of the theaters where I had worked before were all pivoting to outdoor models and different offerings that they could offer to their subscribers and or their sponsors and or just their patrons in general in a COVID friendly way. And so I started reaching out to places where I had loved working and felt very passionate about helping them to create art however they could, and said, listen, if it's of use to you, I have a Judy Garland show. It can be done with just me and a piano player 6 feet apart. Would this be interesting for you? And so they said yes, including Lake Dillon Theater Company. They said yes, we would love to have you. So I came out to Colorado. We did the show outdoors, BYO lawn chairs, and it was incredible. And it was this, I went 6 months between the March 13th, 2020, the end of the time, to September, without performing, except for my dog. I performed for my dog in my 1-bedroom apartment in New York, right? And so I was so nervous. I was like, am I even going to be able to do this? And I don't even know how to, I've been singing my entire life, but will I remember what to do when I get there? And it was this incredible moment of looking out at all these lawn chairs and people in masks, and knowing though that they were smiling underneath and they were happy to be here and they were happy to be experiencing this live art form that they had kind of forgotten about for the last few months because it wasn't a possibility. And so that kind of connection and that feeling really made an impact on me. And I've been doing this show ever since. And so it's been awesome to get to keep evolving with time. This feels like such a living art form. Like, when we were doing it 6 feet apart with just a piano, to last 2 years ago, we did it in New York with a 6-piece band, which was amazing. And then this summer, actually at Swallow Hill, this will be the first time we're doing the show with a female guest artist. I am so excited to bring the Denver's finest Sharon K. White alongside with me this year. We actually met when we were doing Sister Act up in Lake Dillon in 2017. And she's an icon in and of her own right. And so immediately when I knew we were coming to Denver, I reached out to her and said, listen, we've done the show before with a male guest artist, and I've done some Frank Sinatra duets and some Mickey Rooney duets and some Bing Crosby duets, but I would love it if you would come and be my female guest. And so Shay K said, yes, I would love to do it. And so we're actually going to do some of the duets that Judy sang with Barbra Streisand on the 1963 Judy Garland show. And then Shay K is going to do her own set, including some of the stuff that Judy's daughters, Liza Minnelli and Lorna Luft, have sung. And so really, really, really excited to do that. And so that's a fun first time thing that's going to happen in Denver. So come and you'll see it live.
Yeah. Amazing. Yeah. You just get even more artists than you were expecting.
Oh yeah.
Amazing. Amazing. Yeah. So Jenna, what else can people expect here? So we've kind of touched on, you'll hear the deep cuts. You won't just hear Over the Rainbow. You'll hear storytelling about, I did a little, wow.
Oh, cool.
You do that. Wow. I wonder what else it can do. I wonder if we're going to do we'll do like one of these or, one of these.
Nope.
Yeah, no.
That's, okay.
Let's see, one of these maybe. A little butterfly emoji.
Sad palm tree. Okay, we've gone off topic.
Oh, I could do that all day. Well, making emojis with our hands aside. So we can expect deep cuts from Judy Garland. We can expect guest artist. We can expect storytelling and not just songs. What else what else do you think people will really, what else can people expect to hear? I know I was really struck by reading on your website. It's not a traditional Judy Garland tribute. It's a show without impersonation. So you're not going to be strictly impersonating Judy Garland. Can you tell me a little more about that?
Yeah. So, I want to tip my vocal hat to Judy, but no one can be Judy Garland she's already been Judy Garland herself. And so I'm not attempting to recreate her. There'll be no wigs, there'll be no, there'll be no costumes, like there'll be no accent, none of that. But there will be, Judy Garland enthusiasts will be okay with this because there's a lot of musical things that we do in Judy's honor. So, sometimes Judy was very famous for her vibrato, and she's very famous for, the pitch glides and falls that she does, and, portamentos in her music, and also decrescendos and things like that. And so we definitely do a lot of that. And also you're going to hear my voice and get to meet me. And so that's a fun thing to get to do. Trent Hines is going to be my local music director. He is an incredible Denver-based artist as well, and he's bringing an upright bassist and a drummer to join us. So you're going to hear a fabulous trio of musicians. What's also fun is that we've taken a lot of Judy's, her arrangements of things, and then we've played with them a little bit. So just like Judy took some pretty classic American songbook songs and then made them her own, we are going to be doing that as well. So we do a lot of medleys, a lot of mashups, a lot of smushing of things together that you might not have heard done that way before. And so I think that that's really fun when you know the songs and then you can appreciate the new melodic arrangements of them. And if you've never heard the song before, you'll also be able to appreciate the melodic arrangement of it because it's good.
It's just
it's just
a good arrangement of a good song.
As I tell my students all the time, I say, listen, I firmly believe you should never sing anything you hate unless you're being paid. That being said, I'm going to give you these song suggestions. And if you don't like any of them, you're free to tell me that you don't like any of them. You don't have to sing them, but I have very good taste. So trust me, you're going to like these songs.
Amazing. Great. Yeah. So it's folks can expect then it's a tribute in the sense of in the spirit of Judy and, in her spirit of musical innovation and paying homage to her tunes without doing a note for note exactly the way it is.
Exactly. Yeah.
Very cool. Well, on that topic too, Jenna, what are your, what are some of your favorite songs to perform in this show?
Wow. I mean, there is really nothing like getting to sing Somewhere Over the Rainbow, especially where it falls in the show. It feels like it's not the first song I sing. It's not the last song I sing. And it feels like it happens in this really nice spot where I feel like I can really feel the audience like relax and feel taken care of in that moment. And I really love that. One of my favorite songs to sing is actually Judy's version of Got a Lot of Living to Do from Bye Bye Birdie. She did it on the Judy Garland show. It's this like 1960s pop vibe to it. It's really fun. It's really upbeat. And my dad's claim to fame is that he played Conrad Birdie in his high school production of Bye Bye Birdie. So for 30 plus years, all I've heard about is like, well, when I was Conrad Birdie. So it's kind of nice to finally get to be Conrad Birdie myself, but through Judy. So I love that moment. And I'm really excited that Sharon K. White is joining us because we'll get to do the Barbara Judy Get Happy duet, which is a very, very famous duet. So we'll do that one. And I'm really, really excited to also the opportunity to sing Judy's music around her 102nd birthday, what would have been on June 10th, and also during Pride Month. It's actually rumored that the Stonewall riots, which happened on June 29th, 1969, happened the same night as Judy Garland's funeral. And so there's rumor that was it a bunch of Judy fans who were just, very also emotionally distraught over losing one of their favorite performers, who then ended up getting involved with the police and starting these Stonewall riots. And so Judy's always been a very important figure for the gay community. And so getting to do this show in June, I'm so happy that Swallow Hill maybe unintentionally put that on the roster, or maybe intentionally was like, yes, what better way to end Pride Month than with this Judy Garland show? So very happy that people will have a family friendly way to get Pride.
Yeah, that's beautiful. That,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Awesome, Jenna. Well, this sounds like a super cool show. I can't wait to see it. And yeah, I mean, we'll wrap up in a second here. But is there anything else? Any other just like reasons folks should come to the show? Things you want to say to folks who want to come to the show.
Yeah, I mean, listen, what else are you doing on a beautiful Wednesday night in the summer in Denver? The answer is you're not doing anything as important as bringing your friends and family, sitting down on a picnic blanket, having a nice glass of wine, and enjoying being outside, listening to live music with live musicians, and maybe even sneaking in a laugh or two, and just having a good time and truly, honestly, forgetting your troubles for just a few minutes. That would be such a delightful way to spend an evening in the summer. And I really hope that you come out and join us and introduce yourself after the show. I would love, everyone has a Judy Garland story, and I love it when audience members stick around and tell me theirs. And so if you have one and you're excited about it, please come to the show and introduce yourself afterward. I'd love to meet you.
Beautiful. That's amazing. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's a summer evening in Denver. It's gonna be so beautiful. Like you're gonna be outside. You're gonna want to
Yeah.
be outside anyway. Why not?
Yeah.
Why not be outside here? Exactly. Awesome. Well, Jenna Pastuszek, thank you so much for talking to us here